All right, pre-show shenanigans, major news breaking right now on this fine Wednesday afternoon. Jersey Jerry from Barstool has been doing the hole-in-one challenge, I believe, for 18 and a half hours now, still not completed it.
As of recording this.
Yeah, now I'm not much of a dimple head myself, but when you hit it in the hole and it pops back out, what is that called? Like a lip out? Like a cup out? I don't know. I don't know what the term is, but the ball went in the hole and then bounced back out, which I call bullshit. Hey, I'm no dimple head myself, but as a man with serious experience, back in my par 3 middle school golf days, if I were
your par 3, well, par 3 in quotations. Par 3, definitely.
Many times, let's say this. If everybody on the hole and I was playing with the good kids, which was very rare if it ever happened, but the 2 times I ever played with the kids who actually scored in the matches, anytime all of us collectively shot over par, then everyone got par on the hole.
Yeah. Grant is a legacy golfer.
It broke everything I thought about golf integrity, any respect I had for these guys, out the roof. Or
you know that
greatly increased. But
you know that Tiger Woods, when they're doing those back holes, they're just going around. They're like, pars all around, guys, pars all around.
Like when I am trying to think, like, I wonder how many times, like, my coach of my middle school golf team. So, it's a shotgun, or a lot of the times we do like a shotgun start. So I'd be starting on like hole 6 and going.
You do
so we can all
play
at the same time.
Yes.
And so our coach obviously couldn't watch everyone all the time. He'd kind of just stick at one hole and just wait for everyone to come around. But I wonder how many times, like, our golf coach watched our good players, not me. The good players just cheat, and he's just
didn't see anything.
Nope. No.
Saw nothing.
I have no idea what happened. Yeah, but back on to Jersey Jerry. He's been doing the hole-in-one challenge for about 18 hours now. And we were about to debate what is a harder athletic challenge to take on in like a live stream setting.
There's actually something that might be harder, and I think it's one thing. There was one thing that might be harder.
There was one thing that instantly popped in my head, and that is get a hit off of Jacob deGrom.
I was going to say a home run off of Jacob deGrom.
That's impossible.
It might be impossible.
I'm just saying get a hit with a defense playing.
Okay, that would be, if it was just a standard, just fucking hit the ball, I'm bunting that.
We can start off with just making contact. I don't think I could do that in, let's do 1,000 pitches. Like, forget a time limit. You have 1,000 attempts. How many times do you think you can make contact with a Jacob? You can only throw fastballs.
What's a batting average of 1 in 1,000? I'm trying to do that.
0.1? 0.001?
It would not be 0.1.
Well, in my head, instead of like 100.
0.0001, right?
If you go like,
yeah, 0.001. I think I might be able to do 1 in 1,000. You give me 1,000 attempts, I might be able to get 1.
I don't think
you can. With a defense or just making contact? Making contact.
Defense.
Oh, with a defense? No. That would be me getting lucky. But if it's just making contact, I definitely could do it within 1,000.
Even if it was a high school kid. Ooh, now you're getting a little too confident.
No, because I would just bunt. I'm just bunting.
Dude, you would not be able to make contact. Even if you were
standing there with the bat, just like this, not even moving. I'm just standing like this.
No, I know, but that shit is so fast that you'll pull the bat back the first time. You're like, wait, that shit was coming from my fucking dome. No, it wasn't. It was right down the dick. But it was 101. It was 101. So you thought twice.
Yeah, no, I might shit my pants, but it's a possibility of getting lucky.
One thing I think about is, obviously recently we went to Universal DH, but there was a long time where Clayton Kershaw was getting 2 ABs a game.
He actually didn't have a horrible batting average.
He wasn't necessarily awful.
Not bad.
I mean, we hate this guy, but bro, Mad Bum hit bombs. All right. Mad Bum could rake. All right. Like, Mad Bum hit nukes. But I always thought to myself, the couple of times, it'd be very rare, but the couple of times where they'd have a reliever go up there to hit, like, I think Kenley Jansen has at least 8 career at-bats.
Now the greatest pitcher at bat that I've ever seen
Bartolo Colon home run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was either that or the CC Sabathia home run when he hit it out of Dodger Stadium. He hit it out of Dodger Stadium.
It's just Bartolo Colon for the fact it was Bartolo Colon. Yeah.
It's goated.
Yeah.
But all right, when I think about just a reliever sitting back there, I'd shit my pants. But yeah,
so let's say this. Let's say this
could be it.
You have 1,000 opportunities, 1,000 chances. So keep in mind right now, Jersey Jerry's at, I think, 2,100 hits. Okay. You have 1,000 hits or pitches to either get a hole in one or an at bat.
We gotta go back. 2,100 swings.
2,100 swings.
Okay, actually, real quick, let's stay on this before we get back to the baseball because that actually is a bit more fun. For me, I don't play golf, so if we were to do this hole-in-one challenge, like we'd have to straight up be at most 150 yards from the pin. Like at most, like I cannot drive.
You don't want to drive hole in one. You want to have a little.
I don't think I could. Okay. I genuinely don't think I could hit a driver straight and far enough to even.
Well, no, for you to have a chance at a hole in one, the hole already has to be. But no, the hole itself,
like a par 3.
The hole itself are always short. Otherwise, it's physically impossible for a human being.
I'm just thinking though, like for me, I've not played golf in a while. Okay, so I don't know what my range
maybe that will
is.
change this week. Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what my distance is. I don't know what my range is, but I'm pretty sure when I was in 8th grade, pitching wedge is like 100 yards. So now, would a sand be 100 for me now? I mean, been.
Let me ask you. Let me just ask you this question.
Golf.
Let me just ask you this question.
8 years.
If in 8th grade you were hitting a pitching wedge,
I think that's pretty standard.
If you were hitting it 100 yards
for pitching,
but how far do you think you'd hit it now with the pitching wedge?
Not that much further.
But I want to know what number you think it would be, because this either is going to be hilarious to me or it's going to be kind of realistic.
I'd say, not that much further, maybe 110.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like,
120 is really pushing it.
I thought you were going to say like
no,
double it. Now
no. I would say that like I did way more than I did now when I was in like 9th grade, 8th grade.
So you think you could hit it further then because you're a hefty?
And I haven't played in 8 years, so I would assume that 8th grade me is better than me now. I'd assume, maybe not. I don't know, but
we'll have to get the film and put it side by side.
Yeah, we'll have to do a breakdown. But okay, baseball talk now. You know what? Let's lower it down. AAA level pitcher, 1,000 attempts. Could you get a ball?
You talking about AAA Bobby Miller? Then fuck no.
Just a AAA pitcher. We literally spin a wheel of every single possible AAA pitcher. If it's a submarine guy, then there's 0% chance. I'm actually praying it's an overhand guy.
You give me 1,000 chances, I would say I might be able to get one.
I'd still say no for me, but I like.
I think confidence. I'm gonna be confident. I think I could get one. 1,000.
Right, Everett said it, not me. Everett said
I think
it,
I could do one. I think I could do one. Now, how many intentional hit by pitches are we counting here?
Those don't count. Hit.
All right.
Not on base. Not a walk.
But that is contact. I'm making contact with the ball.
Not with the bat. You are making contact with the ball, but in theory, the goal is for your bat to make contact do have to, with the ball. I'm gonna make you answer this question though. 1,000 attempts. No.
But no. 1,000 attempts. You either have to have a hole in one or hit a baseball.
What I think is more likely.
Which one do you think is more likely for you?
I would say.
Or we can change it to 100. We can change it to like 500 attempts of stealing a base.
Oh, I think I get hosed every single time. That's just more likely because the catcher can just fuck up.
True.
You know, there's more factors in play. So I'll pick that, but hell no. If I was ever playing baseball,
hitting a baseball and a hole in one, which one? I would say hole in one.
I would say the hole in one is easier.
Just luck,
but not by a large margin. Like,
unless you're Tiger Woods, in which case,
if I was Charlie Woods, then give me 50 swings and I'm getting that hole in one. I
know
think
how much I
recently
would
Nate
laugh?
Shot did a hole-in-one challenge, and he
But
did it in
he's
like
actually good.
45
He's
minutes.
he's
I
he's
know,
good
I
at
know.
golf.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah, yeah.
I would
But
laugh.
I was so
I would
very
I would
impressed.
laugh right now. Like we said, Jersey Jerry is doing this. If someone just came up first attempt in the hole, just
I really want that.
I
Like,
want
it'd
to
be
see
very
that.
funny if like
I want to see them like
Frank
call
the
up
Tank
Tiger
went up and
Woods or
just
somebody and just have them come in, just one shot it.
you know what? I guess, maybe my New Year's resolution is to become a dimplehead. Now, I don't need to play golf, but I will watch at least one major this year, like the full Sunday.
Oh, they're starting.
At least one.
We're about to have the Hawaii majors coming up real soon.
Now, you're the dimplehead here, so you help me out. Is the Masters the last tournament of the year? Or
Yeah, it's like it's
middle.
The golf situation is kind of ongoing, but it's technically like the culmination of the year. Like you have to qualify to get into play it. The Masters, I think.
I know there's like the FedEx Cup, which is separate from the Masters, or does the Masters count towards the FedEx Cup? Dimplehead, please explain.
No, like the Masters is like the biggest tournament. It's like the culmination tournament.
Yeah, I get that. I get that part.
Real quick, this is now we're going now you're making me go through the
now
whole,
we're actually talking about golf, which is not what the plan for this was.
Yeah, the Sony Open, in Hawaii is January 11th. All right, but there's the quintessential. There's the creme de la creme tournament that is every year. First and foremost, Masters is in April. But
apparently there's a major tournament this weekend, the Tournament of Champions, $20 million prize pool. That seems like a pretty large prize pool. I don't know, 20 million, or is that a minor?
That now you're asking too many questions.
Now I'm confused. Well,
so I mean the greatest tournament of any sport in any regard is a golf tournament, and it's solely because the name of the tournament is the Waste Management Open.
Oh yeah, no, that's the greatest.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Waste Management Arizona, like that's a bucket list event.
Yeah, it's a bucket list event. Anyways,
like need to go to that. Need to go to a Super Bowl. Need to go to an NBA Finals game courtside, which will be the hardest to get, and then
World Series game.
I would say that's not necessarily a must on the bucket list, but because we're weirdos and we do watch a little baseball, for us, yes. But that one doesn't need to be on the list. I think a Masters trip is on the list.
Yeah. Kentucky Derby.
Definitely
on the list.
Like up there, top 3 on that list. Kentucky Derby, 100%.
Catalina
wine mixer. I know there's no sports involved, but also on the list.
It's a sport in its own right.
But yeah, I think that might do it for the pre-show. Got a little carried away there. Got kind of a healthy amount of content there, but all right. On to the episode.
On to the episode.
All right.
On to the episode.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 184, College Football National Championship preview. We've got the most boring week of the NFL season coming up ahead with many starters sitting. I know there's a couple of playoff games essentially, but for the amount of people sitting, first things first, shout out to anyone with fantasy football going on in week 18. We love all of you. And then finally,
you will be in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes. Not only ours, but many people. Like if you just look up fantasy football on Reddit right now. Now, quick side note, I'm not a big Redditor myself, but when it came to starting that Dynasty Football League, then I started looking at just what people are saying on Dynasty Reddit. And oh my God, I scrolled through the thread of, all right, it's time to eat the humble pie. Let's go over our worst trades of the year. And some of the trades I was reading were blasphemy.
Just keep in mind, Grant used this as reference for this season. He ended up in I think 4th, like 8th out of 12, 9th out of 12.
Or well, when you said 4th,
that's what I meant. Like
draft pick.
Yeah. So
7th.
Yeah, 7th.
Yeah. But I'm just going through that, and I was more so trying to get research on other things. So, for example, is people like let me tell you what my team looked like in 2019 as like by far the best team in the league and what it looks like now 4 years later. And it's like at the time, the dude just has a ridiculously stacked team of like Mahomes, Allen, like Stephon Diggs, like McCaffrey and shit like that. And they just make like one little trade banking on like Kenny Pickett for some reason. And it all goes to shit. And it's like I'm just trying to piece together how long it takes to rebuild the dynasty. But you know what? Not enough of that talk. We also need to preview the annual The Reckoning, The Awakening, the greatest Monday of the season, the Monday after the final Sunday of the NFL year,
which just happens to might literally be the greatest Monday in football history.
It's gonna be
this might be the greatest Monday of football history.
Major Monday. There was a period of time in around 2021 where for some reason every single Wednesday from like January 2021 to like April 2021, there was just a Woj bomb every Wednesday.
And it kind of sucked for us because we were recording like on the most inopportune times during that period because we'd record something and then instantaneously would come.
Yeah, never ideal. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on now. But okay, we're gonna start off with college football. Because you know there's a lot of things NFL to go over with playoff picture, a lot of standings in play. So we're gonna start off with college football. We're gonna start off with the non-natty stuff first. Maybe I'll do my list before we do the natty preview too. We'll start off with the two news type stories. First with Ohio State, Will Howard has essentially been confirmed to be coming to Ohio State. He's the quarterback out of Kansas State. I'm not saying this.
He is saying this, but on the far DL.
But the streets are saying that Will Howard is the next combination of Josh Allen and Ben Roethlisberger. He's apparently 6'5", 250. And once I found that out, Everett, my first thought was, as a Kansas State quarterback, is I need to go look back at the tape of him and 5'6" Deuce Vaughn. There was a full foot difference between them two, and I need to go back and look at that. So that's
he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing when Deuce Vaughn was playing, though. That's the other problem.
He was not their starter. I saw he had playing time 2 years ago. They must have been on the field at the same time. I know there's a picture of them on the field.
If he was playing, but he did when we played against Adrian Martinez. That's who we played against.
I know that Will Howard. Yeah, Will Howard. He had 200 pass attempts 2 seasons ago. So I can almost, with that alone, you can almost guarantee that him and Deuce Vaughn have played a snap together. So first I need to see that picture. Second, yeah, I'm not hyped on it per se. But the way I think, I guess I would rather just have a 5th-year starter. He'll be a 5th-year not starter, 5th-year player next year over Honda, or over a Devin Brown, or a Lincoln Keenholz. And Air Noland, I'm an Air Noland truther. I want a lefty back there. I honestly don't know the last time Ohio State ever had a lefty quarterback, so I just want to see it. But no, a true freshman's not going to start for Ohio State. That's just not going to happen. So with that in mind, Will Howard, I guess it's, hey, we don't even need to start him. So in theory, might as well just take him.
He's the veteran presence in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, he could be our Jagger LaRoe at worst, and that's like a walk-on transfer we took last year, who was like a 1-star out of the portal from Oregon State, literally there for team morale. But he might end up being that. We'll see. But like,
now the problem is when Cardale gives him NIL money, then
yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I will give to Cardale is that I actually do think that's just something I haven't thought about. Like, it probably does help having a former player be one of the main guys.
100%. It definitely helps. But if it's the person who's notorious for not caring about their education, managing your money is
whoa. Who said that? Well, I mean, that's an alleged tweet that we don't even know he tweeted himself. It just came from his account. Okay, we don't know if Cardale tweeted.
He did back it up on the interview, though.
Yeah, he did. And then he also followed that up with he went to a children's hospital played against an Ohio State fan, NCAA. The report came out that Cardell beat the kid like 98-12, and then Cardell responded,
he said, "No, it was
incorrect.
100.
I beat him like 134-6. Like, put some respect on my name."
Okay. We've also seen
Yeah.
some just speaking about Ohio State.
One more quick little thing. Tyleik Williams, defense tackle, will be returning for his senior season. That was a big one that I kind of expected him to actually end up leaving. But he'll be coming back. That is major, especially with Justin Scott decommitting from Ohio State, flipping to Miami a couple weeks ago. So very big. Mike Hall will be going. He's an absolute beast. I know Mike Hall is going to be an absolute stud, whichever team gets him. So yeah, Ohio State, big time get back.
Yeah, either a big loss or if you're Grant, you don't really care about him. But Julian Fleming is a traitor.
Another man.
He's committed to Penn State.
I'm not exactly sure if I call him traitor, because he is from Pennsylvania. His recruitment did come down to us in Penn State at the end the first time. My bigger question with Julian Fleming, Brian Hartline, and the other offensive coaches is, why the fuck did we play Julian Fleming so much just for him to leave Noah Rogers, who was the best prospect out of the state of North Carolina since this one guy named Calvin Johnson? You ever heard of him? Pretty good football player.
Actually, he lost that out to Sean McVay, though. Sean McVay was the best wide receiver prospect out of the state.
Oh my God, that is correct. Something doesn't add up here in this Noah Rogers.
There's a problem. It's a problem.
So I think it's more so a hindsight in 2020 revisionist history. Calvin Johnson is the best player to come out of North Carolina. Like, we can just confirm that now. And this guy, Noah Rogers, was next up, but he just hit the portal. I'm probably wrong here. I do not think he had a single snap last season for Ohio State.
Hey, you watch them every week. You have the manifesto. You should know.
I could be wrong, but I don't think he played a single snap for Ohio State last year. And now I'm not, I look at other guys like Carnell Tate. He got a couple. He was pretty much the only true freshman this season to like get PT at receiver. Brandon Innes, he was a late enrollee, so he was essentially never going to touch the field. But it's an interesting dynamic now in this generation of college football, the transfer portal of like, you're going to need to promise some playing time here. Like, if a borderline 5-star receiver is going to come in and not play a snap the entire year, like, yeah, he's going to leave. So there's some things we got to look at here. Hearing that we might also be getting a big reckoning on the Ohio State coaching staff. Heard a couple of coaches, we went over it last time, skip some practices for a country concert. So yeah, there will be some moving parts. Also, Ryan Day allegedly told the strength coach for Ohio State, Mickey Marotti, to cool it down on the players and be softer on them and not as hard. And if that is true, then Ryan Day, we're done here. What the fuck? What are we talking about? Like, what? Like, Ohio State's one of the few schools, in my opinion, where you're like allowed to still fucking reduce your players to little chestnuts in the weight room and it'll be okay. But hey, it's Ryan's program, I guess. But last thing, I guess, slightly on the news aspect of college football, JJ McCarthy had some interesting things to say about Michigan's sign stealing scandal going on right now. So this is exact quotes. About 80% of teams in college football steal signs. We actually had to adapt because in 2019, 2020, Ohio State was stealing our signs, which is legal. We had to get up to the level they were at and make it an even playing field. So I want to start off by saying this. Sign stealing in game is 100% legal, JJ McCarthy. I agree. In fact, I know for a fact that Ohio State beat Michigan in 2012 because at the time, G.A. Kirk Barton stole Michigan signs, decoded them by halftime, and we knew every single defensive call Michigan had for the second half. So yes, I know it exists. Go back to Ohio State Clemson 2019. Oh my God. The talk of the entire offseason heading into 2020 was, how the fuck does Brent Venables know every single offensive play before it snapped? That was the only thing we talked about. So this is the next thing about that quote. Very interesting how JJ brought up how in 2019 and 2020, Ohio State was stealing Michigan signs. So first things first, in 2019, JJ McCarthy was just not at the University of Michigan. Now, obviously, there are coaches there that could have told him Ohio State had our signs, yada, yada, yada. But people also fail to mention that Michigan was like a 5-7 football team in 2019, and Ohio State had literally the most talented team of my life on that team. Like the defense was Chase Young, Okuda, Damon Arnett, who was a first round pick, Jordan Fuller, Malik Harrison, Chase Young, if I already saw it. Like they're ridiculous. That's the defense. And then offense is Garrett, Justin Fields, Dobbins, ridiculous. So talent-wise, 2019, it honestly didn't even matter if we had your signs. Like good luck.
It's also
but 2020 like, Michigan bitched out of the game and didn't play in it.
The thing that I
so
there was no game.
So how did Ohio State steal Michigan's signs?
This is the
year
thing.
that they didn't play.
This is the thing. One, that's just a fucking stupid quote and stupid thing to say. The other thing is, like you said, stealing signs in a game is fine because it's an even playing field and both teams are doing it. And if you're not doing it, that's at the fault of your head coach and you're at the disadvantage. Okay, that's literally the job of people to go and decode the signs. That's why it's an even playing field because you both teams can do it. But going ahead of time and sitting down at a different game to get a head start on those signs,
we have video evidence of.
Is a completely different thing. And yes, do teams sometimes send you their signs in film? Yes, but at the same time, that is the week preparing into the game, and those signs are most likely being altered. It's not like you're going back and you're going to go and do it every single time and look at this. There's a very big discrepancy between the two.
Yeah, I mean, there's those things at stake. I was just very interested how JJ was aware that Ohio State stole Michigan's signs in 2020 when he also wasn't on campus at the time. So I have a lot of questions about that statement, but this is just the last little thing. What Ohio State has been accused of doing recently, people are accusing Ohio State of hacking into Michigan's practice tape into their team iPads and essentially being able to watch Michigan team film on iPads online, which Michigan fans are just finding out for the first time. I know it's a groundbreaking accusation and something to think of when it comes out for the first time. But Michigan fans, what if I told you that I've been aware of this iPad thing for about 2 to 3 years now? And it was actually Ohio State who shut down the use of iPads and did not let Ohio State has not allowed their players to go home and watch tape on iPads for 3 seasons now. If you're an Ohio State player and you want to watch tape, you have to walk your ass over to the Woody, sit down in the film room and on their computers. Yeah, like you cannot watch on your home because this is another side thing, but it got confirmed that an Ohio State walk-on was giving practice tape to a beat writer. And so that's another thing that perpetuated it.
It's also not like it's a pretty known thing at most schools, at most big programs. Like it's known that
this isn't like a crazy concept. Yeah, and it's like shit. If there are players who are pissed off at for many of the Ohio State players that just hit the portal, look at their recent likes on Twitter. Don't think they're the biggest fans of Ohio State. So those are guys where they're kind of prime targets, just be giving away Ohio State practice film to just whoever the fuck. Like they don't care about Ohio State. So things can happen. But what if I told you, Michigan fans, that Ohio State had a hint that Michigan sums up the play calling starting in 2021, and that's when Ohio State shut down the iPad use. Interesting. But yeah, the sign stealing thing. I will just say right now,
a really stupid. Like at this point in the season too. Like, why are you still bringing that up? Like, it's a lost cause.
Yeah, I thought you guys were completely innocent and you guys didn't do anything wrong. So why even feel the need to address it? I mean, my last thing I would say is JJ admitted that they stole signs there. Like he never denied that they stole signs.
He was just trying.
Ohio State actually did it in 2020. So that's
in a game that didn't happen, by the way. And in a game that it was all BS. The only other thing that I want to say before you do this list,
also in 2020, Everett, how could Ohio State steal signs when fans weren't allowed to be in the stands?
They send that spy plane over. That's what they're doing.
Goodyear blimp. Fair enough. I did see that rumor going into the season.
You and I
thought Ryan Day hired someone to go in the blimp.
You and I are we're gonna give our predictions for how this title game is gonna go, because this will be the last episode before before that.
You could say in a way this is kind of one of the last episodes of the college football season.
But before that, the only thing I want to say is last episode we were talking about how the Rose Bowl should be the title game, and Kirk Herbstreit, ironically, the next day, the day when it was published, also said that. I'm just saying, Kirk must watch our podcast. That's all I'm saying. But today, Stephen A. Smith this morning. By the way, I love Stephen A. Smith. He goes like he gives some
entertaining man in most sports entertainment,
and he gives some of the best takes, especially with the NBA. But he said that the Rose Bowl should be moved to SoFi, and that is the dumbest, single most stupidest fucking thing I have heard in any relation to college football in my life.
Yeah, that one you lost me there, Stephen A. You lost me at that one.
We want to move. We want to move the Rose Bowl game from the literal Rose Bowl, one of the most iconic
and
venues.
the only reason why the Rose Bowl is so special is because of the Rose Bowl.
But we want to move the Rose Bowl from the literal Rose Bowl, one of the most iconic venues in all sports, to SoFi
There's only
Stadium,
one way Stephen A. could have won me over here, but keep going.
To SoFi Stadium, where tailgating was not even allowed for the fucking national championship.
Yeah.
And it rains inside.
The only way Stephen A. could have won me over here is if he pointed out how the parking at SoFi is awful. Despite how bad parking is at SoFi, it is still light years better than the Rose Bowl. You know, for the Rose Bowl, when they are actually seating the full stadium and they're not sectioning or tarping off like 40% of the capacity for a UCLA home game, they need to park cars on the local golf course, and you're just parking on the third fairway.
Isn't that a nice golf course too? I'm pretty sure
I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume not. If it is, then rip that golf course. But like,
oh man,
what the hell? You're parking on the third fairway.
I don't blame them. I'm going to be honest.
And the first.
I'm not going to blame
them. There's only one
gate
gate to get into the Rose Bowl.
I'm not going to blame.
Entrance.
You can. The problem though is by renovating the stadium, you kind of take away parts of that if you want to add more gates and stuff.
Well, like a parking lot.
But the other thing is, if you build a parking,
make that.
No, you can make that, but it's also okay if we're going to develop a parking structure. How much of the view and the iconicism of the Rose Bowl gets taken away if you have a giant
well there. I can get that, but it's the alternative is just instead of a lot with cars parked, it's just on a fucking fairway when they do that blimp picture.
That's
so tell me what
that's part better. That's part of the Rose Bowl experience.
I think it's like as a man who's been to the Rose Bowl, like I've been at least 5 times in my life, just even counting just random UCLA football games. Like,
I think I've been one time.
Nightmare.
It was not fun. We left
nightmare
early.
Just getting in and out of the stadium. Like top 3 worst stadiums in terms of traffic.
Let's give our game takes here for the Natty. Washington versus Michigan. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
So first, a fun fact, which I do not have confirmation of, but I think this is the only national championship in the history of college football where both teams were 14-0 heading into it. So we're going to have a 15-0 undefeated national champion this season. I believe, if I have this correctly, I think it was 2018 Clemson was the first team to ever go 15-0.
Oh, the first team? I don't know.
Let me look up college football national championship winners. I think it was Clemson 2018 was the first team to ever do it.
Grant,
what?
I'm realizing something.
What?
The national championship game?
Yep.
It starts at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, your time, 5:30 West Coast.
But when does the sun set, Grant?
Like 5 here. Sun's gonna be down. What's your so
what
Pac-12
team?
after dark?
Pac-12 after dark.
Oh my god. Oh.
Pac-12 after dark.
Wait, but this is a bigger question. Now, I know in theory, Washington is still a member of the Pac-12, but does does it expire? Did it expire on December 31st, 2023? Is Washington technically a member of the Big Ten? Is there even such thing as Pac-12 After Dark anymore?
I'm looking. Hold on.
Because this can also indirectly confirm that Pac-12 After Dark had nothing to do with Washington beating Texas. We can also be mentioning that right now too.
Hold on.
Are they a member of the Pac-12?
It ends after the 2023-2024 season ends. Season. So through 2024.
So technically, right now, like USC is still a Pac-12 member.
Yes.
Until the national championship.
Until the national championship's over.
Okay. Well, I also just confirmed that yes, whoever wins the national championship this year will be the fourth team in college football history to go 15-0. So that is ridiculous in its own.
Will it be the first loser being 14-1?
Probably not.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. That's too
much. That
was
beside the point.
That's too much.
Yeah, that was too much to think about right there. You had it. Oh, actually, no. 2019, Clemson was undefeated, and then they lost to LSU. So fuck. Thought I had something cool there. But okay, Michigan 4.5-point favorite for this game, which I think is maybe just a point and a half too high. I will give me Washington to cover that, but for the game itself, this is what I'm thinking. Let's talk the four aspects: run offense, run defense, pass offense, pass defense. Okay, run game first. Michigan essentially wins in all facets of the run game. Michigan's run offense versus Washington's run defense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Michigan's run defense versus Michigan's run offense. Like, arguably, in a way, you could say that, well, yeah, you can say that Washington, some of the weaker parts of their teams are their run defense and offense, in Michigan, that's their strength. So in terms of that aspect, knowing that advantage, Michigan has a chance to control this game very easily. They have a chance to just easily control it, whether they start with the ball or not. If I was Michigan, I think I'd prefer to start with the ball in a way, but I guess that doesn't really matter too much. I do think, though, Michigan, they have a chance to just control the game and make Washington play the way Michigan wants to play, pretty much. We'll see if that ends up actually happening, but the way Michigan's been playing recently, like they don't get shaken up. Like, they don't just go 3 and out. Like they are on schedule. They play good football right now. I'm not sure how easy it'll be for Washington to stop Michigan's offense. Okay, now passing games. We'll stay on Michigan first because Washington's passing game is just better. So Michigan's passing game, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, I'm not the greatest fans of. I think they're good players, but like, it's not like they have Odunze out there. But I think the big X factor that Michigan has over Washington in their passing game is their tight end, Colston Loveland. He was a matchup nightmare for Ohio State. He is, I think, one of the best tight ends in college football right now, both blocking and catching. And I think Loveland could have a very big day with JJ. And then JJ, going into the 2022 Michigan season, I remember talking to my Michigan friends, and I was telling them all, like, some of them were split on Cade McNamara or JJ. And I was saying JJ 1,000% needs to be the starter. What he offers over Cade McNamara is that opportunity when plays break down to scramble outside, roll out, make a throw on the run. JJ probably bailed Michigan out of like 5 to 7 plays against Alabama where the play broke down and he just made shit work and pulled shit out of his ass. So we'll see how Washington pressures JJ. I'm not sure if they'll be able to like necessarily pressure him too much, but I think that's going to have to be a key for Washington, is getting pressure on JJ and getting to him, because you can't just let him run around back there. He's just going to do whatever he wants. So those are kind of matchups I are looking at from that end. Now, Washington's pass offense versus Michigan's pass defense. If there is a weakness on Michigan's defense, in my opinion, it would be that second corner opposite of Will Johnson, not slot.
It's a small problem.
But the opposite corner, that would be the only red flag, in my opinion, on that team. So Washington, they have a phenomenal wide receiver trio. They have the best wide receiver trio in college football this year. Dunze, McMillan, and Polk. And those three guys, I would assume Will Johnson, he can shadow a guy, but if I were to guess what Michigan we're going to do, I think they just have Will Johnson play one side, just cut off one side of the field, don't throw to Will Johnson. And I pretty much what I'm saying is I don't think he'll necessarily be shadowing Odunze the whole game. I think it would probably be in Michigan's best interest to have him just shut off a full third of the field. So we'll see exactly what they do, but it is that matchup with either McMillan or Polk against that second corner, not Sanders still, and I'm blanking on the other Michigan corner's name, but that's the matchup that I think can get exploited bad. And I will pick that matchup to get exploited.
I feel
overall,
like that's fair.
though, I think this game plays into Michigan's favor, like with the no more clock stopping on first downs anymore, with just the clock running faster. Like this game
Just
plays
so you can run the game away.
Like it does play in their favor, but I think Washington's going to be the most dynamic offense that Michigan has faced all season. So we'll see what happens in a potential scenario where Washington goes up. Like I don't think Michigan, they have not been down by double-digit points yet at one point in the season. I'm still yet to see that. I personally don't know if Michigan.
I don't think they will. I don't think they're going. I don't think it's going to. I don't think they're going to be down by double digits. I think that if they're down, it's going to be by one score. I think that this entire game is going to be pretty close. To be honest,
I would guess so too. And over under right now set at I think 54.5, 55.5. I think I'm going with the over. I think I'd go with the over, but I can expect a low scoring first half. I could see a 10-10. I could see a 17-14 ball game, which I guess is
okay. You know what? I take it back. I do take it back. I think that Washington could end up taking a 2-score lead, and the only time in the game where that could happen is either side, whatever. Washington scores first. Michigan doesn't get the ball down the field, and Washington scores again, makes it 14-0 to start the game.
Yeah, like quick, like JJ, like in that Alabama game, like JJ had an interception called back first play of the game, like some shit like that.
Like it would be quick, but after that point, I don't think there's another point in the game where it would be a 2-score game.
Yeah, like this is the thing. Like after both teams finish their first 3 drives, now I don't know if this is a bet. I don't think this is a bet, but like I would bet a lot of money on Michigan to score a touchdown within their first 3 drives, and Washington. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't see Michigan getting stalled very much in this game, or Washington. Like, I'm not sure how many times they'll be going 3 and out or punting.
For Michigan's sake, I really hope that special teams is involved as least as possible.
Yeah, if I were Michigan, like new punt returner back there, I'm sorry, he cannot be. Whoever that guy was, he could not
just get like punts. Roman Wilson or somebody back there. Can Blake Corum punt return?
JJ do it. JJ do it. Just put Donovan Edwards back there.
Well, he's hurt, but yeah.
That's one thing. I like everyone's like, well, he's so ass this year. I'm pretty sure he's just been hurt the whole season. Like, that's what I think.
Okay, let's get into your. Well, you're picking Michigan to win. Like, give me the score. Give me the score too. Give me the score.
I'm gonna say Michigan wins this game. 28-23. Weird score.
So do I be different than you, or do I just
whatever? 28-23 is kind of weird. So if you pick the same thing as me there, that's kind of strange on you.
I say Michigan wins 34-28.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I am taking the under there. I just realized that too.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. I think this is a great national championship matchup. Like I do think this is
I do think that there's a
confusing game to
for whatever reason.
Texas.
For whatever reason, I feel right now there's a chance Washington puts up 40 points, and I don't know if Michigan can keep pace with that.
That is another thing.
That's the only thing that I just have this weird feeling that Washington.
Yeah, I mean, going both ways. This is going to be the best offense Michigan has faced, but also this could be the best defense Washington has faced all year. So it goes both ways. We'll see exactly like what Michigan did very well against Ohio State under the CJ Stroud offenses is they did not let Ohio State stay on schedule. Okay. Constant 2nd and 9, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 situations every single drive. And CJ had to play hero ball on 3rd down. That's how Michigan's going to win this game. They pressured Jalen Milroe so well in that playoff semifinal. They're going to keep dialing up those blitzes, and they're going to need to pressure Penix.
Michigan doesn't do well versus purple teams, so. And it's Pac-12 after dark. Who knows? It might be a lethal combination here.
Yeah, Michigan is 0-1 all time against purple teams in the college football playoff. That is fact. That is fact.
Pac-12 after dark too. So
that is fact.
Okay, do your list and then we'll get in the NFL real quick.
Okay, college football coach ranking list. Okay, real quick, slight caveat. We're looking at it from a year-long perspective. Okay, so this is even going back to what you did a year ago right now to prepare going into this season. What you're doing in the portal this time, or December 2022. What were you doing in the portal December 2022 to get ready for this season? So Mike Norvell's going to be pretty high up on this list, just FYI, everyone. But I'm not doing a list of the 10 coaches I would pick to pick my favorite team or coach for a team. Not that. Just this season, what did you do considering what you had and how you ended up and expectations set, like the NFL Coach of the Year awards. So yeah, okay, 10-1. 10-1. I'm so sorry about number 10, Everett. Lane Kiffin, Jed Fish, Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, Mike Norvell, Eli Drinkwitz, Kalen DeBoer, and the Michigan head coaches, whether it was Harbaugh or Sharon Moore, whoever it was. So I think those were the 10 most impressive coaching performances. I feel we were debating about this, Everett. We were debating. I have Sark a little bit lower down on the list. And one could say that Kirby Smart, why should he be at number 6 for the amount of players that just left Georgia and hit the portal? But it's still Georgia. If there was a 12-team playoff this year, I probably would have picked Georgia to win the national championship. So no, Georgia's still fucking Georgia. They just won 2 national championships.
Also,
I can't believe I might need to start reminding people that Georgia's good soon.
Sark has cost his team multiple times in very detrimental games. So
true to a degree. But I still think just getting Texas to the playoff this year was crazy. I did not actually expect that to happen.
True, but he has fumbled the bag on several occasions, late game blunders, essentially. But okay.
Yeah, we can include that as well. But yeah, I think this year for college football, going to be a lot of changes moving forward. Going to be a lot of changes moving forward with these coaching staff is.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the NFL here real quick. First things first, I have something that you're going to think is hilarious. All right. I have 2 things, and then we'll get into the game slate. You remember the Giants boat cruise, the curse?
Of course. How can I ever forget?
Well, the man responsible for that one is back at it again. OBJ,
our very own Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell Beckham Jr. has rented out a massive yacht known as the Spirit of Baltimore and will be taking the Ravens' offensive players on it during the downtime in the playoffs.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Now, if we get a picture of them shirtless and shoeless again
in Tim's,
we're done.
We're done here. I need to see this Stavros reaction online to that news. If you know who Stavi is, I need to see that reaction. So okay, we're gonna need to explore this a little more. I thought Odell learned his lesson. I mean, we might need to call up Sterling Shepard right now and see what he thinks about that shit. But boy, I don't know what Odell's doing. I thought we put that in the past. I thought that was behind us. Clearly not. So yeah, not a great move on Odell. Ravens have officially been eliminated from the NFL playoffs.
Yep. Speaking of teams eliminated from the NFL playoffs, though, the Panthers, the earliest eliminated team in the playoffs. You like that transition?
Yeah. I think there's a different way we could introduce the Panthers, but okay.
Yeah. But David Tepper, we have come on this podcast before. We've argued whether or not David Tepper is a worse owner than Dan Snyder.
Is he the worst owner in professional sports? Is he worse than the A's owner? Well, I guess in a way, you have to say the A's owner is pretty good for just being able to move the team to Vegas or so.
I would say yes, but by the fact is the A's, I don't think that owner is just he should sell the team, but he literally can't afford.
We also looked it up though, like the A's have made the playoffs a healthy amount of times in the 21st century.
No, yeah, David Tepper is single-handedly the worst owner for the fact that he's so hands-on, and now the fact that he threw a drink on a fan.
He pulled the Brittany Mahomes.
And he's now being fined $300,000 and might face some
criminal charges. What? Okay. I wonder where those charges against Brittany Mahomes are. I'm still waiting for them, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens with David Tepper. Yeah, I would say though, when we just take the roof off the car, take a peek at the engine, what the fuck's going wrong? You Tepper, you are wrong. You've been the problem. You are the leaky screw in the fucking cog right now. You're the reason the machine's not working.
I just want to say this though. The man who really knows the true answer to this question is Riverboat Ron, because he has worked under both Tepper and Dan Snyder.
What was he under Tepper at the end?
Yep, Tepper fired him.
I believe Tepper, first year was 18 or 17?
It's something like that.
He's only been there for like 5 years. So
yeah, something like that.
What it is. Yeah, no. Bad example of ownership, just professional sports in general. Not the greatest example. Did they also fire McCown too?
The interim head coach fired McCown.
It's hilarious. That is so funny. I feel bad for him. I remember the videos and when's pro day season? February, March? Oh, that's after. So like what? Late March, mid-March?
Something.
Whenever pro day season is. I just remember seeing the clips of McCown at Ohio State pro day going up to CJ like, you're gonna look damn good in Carolina, brother. And yeah, no, that just did not happen. Yeah. So
yeah. Hey, David Tepper wanted Bryce.
I'll be honest, Bryce. Like, I would have taken Bryce Young over CJ too if I were him, probably. But it is just interesting to look back on it. But
this is also the reason why you and I. This is why you and I are running a podcast instead of being professional scouts in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I am no scout myself. Not for me. Might be able to scout water boys though. I think we
might have an eye for that one. That sounds not right. But let's get into the game picks. Game picks. So, Grant has 2 games on me. I'm giving an asterisk to one of those 2 games because I picked the Lions and got fucking hosed by the refs. But Grant has a 2-game lead on me going into the final week of the regular season to be crowned champion. So if I lose this, I blew a 3-1 lead. This is my 28-3 moment.
I'll need to look up exactly what the lead was,
but
I think it was at least 5 games.
It was heavy considering the way you and I operate. But here are the games for the week. It's going to be just a note. There are no Thursday nights and there are no Monday nights.
Which makes sense with playoffs coming up. It'd be unfair. So
Saturday, 3:30, we have Steelers Ravens, and arguably the game of the week. Massive playoff implications here. Texans at Colts on Saturday night.
I think we could call that one game of the week because it's a win and get in.
Win and in. If they we said this on the last episode. If the Steelers lose and the Jaguars lose, all that needs to happen is they need a tie. If they tie, they're both in. So just interesting. But on Sunday, noon slate, Vikings at Lions, Browns at Bengals, Jags at Titans, Jets at Pats, Falcons at Saints, Bucks at Panthers, and then in the afternoon, we have Bears at Packers, Broncos at Raiders, Eagles at Giants, Seahawks at Cardinals, Chiefs at Chargers, Rams at Niners, and the Cowboys at Commanders. And to wrap up the regular season, arguably also game of the week for the AFC North, Bills at Dolphins. So
yeah, that's a very big one. Bills at Dolphins. Yeah, that is the battle of the North. So that's going to be a big one in Miami, which the NFL. I just want to point out that Miami went to Buffalo like week 2 when it was not cold yet. And then, of course, when they match up again last week of the season, where if that game was in Buffalo, GG Tua. And of course, it's in Miami.
To be fair, last year in the playoffs, Miami went to Buffalo in the playoffs
with Mike White,
Skylar Thompson, and almost won. So I don't want to hear slander because they were almost able to do it last year.
This is my theory on the Bills, though. It is the epitome of play down your competition, and when they got to show up, they do.
Yes, and I agree with that.
There, I'm just, the Bills, I'm not writing them off. I like them. I like them right now more than I did a month ago, but I'm still not, I can't be fully sold on them yet, No,
I agree with that. Okay, here are my game picks. It's gonna be interesting. We better at least have 2 games that are different. I know we at least will have one because there's 0 chance you're taking the Vikings. Yeah. And also there's 0 chance I'm taking the Chargers. So here are my picks. Ravens with the backups, Texans, Vikings, Browns with the backups, Jaguars, Jets, Saints, Bucks, Bears, Broncos, Eagles. Give me the fucking bus. Cardinals, Chiefs, Niners, Boys, and the Fins. Give me the Fins.
Okay, so a lot of differentials here. This could be a fun week. This could be a fun one. All right, I'll just go over picks real quick. I did not exactly track what you were going over, so it might be a little messy when we're going over the different picks here. But okay, try to help me out here. Okay, Steelers, Texans, Bengals. That should be another.
Okay. Yep.
Lions should be another. Which we have to. Jaguars, we're both on.
Right? Yep.
I'm on Pats. What do you say, Jets?
Jets. Fun. So that's 4.
I'm on Saints. Are you also Saints?
Yep.
I'm on Bucks.
Yep.
Oh, I really thought you were gonna pick the Panthers there. I low key kind of wanted to pick the Panthers there, but I'll stay Bucks.
They don't care anymore. Bears. Okay.
Are you Bears?
Yep.
Broncos.
Yep.
Eagles.
Okay.
Did you pick the Eagles?
Yep.
Oh. I'm on Seahawks. Gotta do it one last time. Wait, let me do that.
Please don't.
Seahawks.
I didn't even pick it up, but all right.
It's okay. It's probably good.
Okay. It's probably good for headphone users. Yeah.
I have to pick them. I don't know how the Chargers are favorited. I'm taking Niners. You're taking Rams, right?
I'm taking Niners.
Oh, I'm taking Niners. I'm on Boys. You're on.
Oh, yes, the Chargers. And then
I'm taking Bills.
7-game differential here. So nullify our 2 shit games because those will cross each other out because the Chargers and the Vikings both definitely are probably not going to win. So 5 games, a 5-game difference here to go off
the only way you could try to sneak me here is pick the Chargers.
No, why would I want to pick the Chargers to sneak you?
If you're confident in the Vikings winning.
I'm confident. I'm more confident in the Vikings winning than the Chargers winning. So to sneak you would be picking the Chiefs and picking the Vikings.
But it's more so like a prayer. Well, it's a prisoner's dilemma thing. Like I'm not going to pick the Vikings here. I'm picking the Lions. My pick is locked in.
I'm happy with my picks. If I go down
the 2 differentials there.
If I go down this way, I go down this way. I go down with this 5-game difference. We're going down swinging.
All right, fair enough. I like those. I like those. Okay, real quick, we could talk about the slight. Actually, let's just talk about the playoff game first. Texans at Colts.
There's 2. Bills at Dolphins, Texans, Colts. But yeah.
Yeah, that one too. Okay, but Texans at Colts. I am most excited to see how Stroud plays in this last game. Texans defense has also been a little bit shaky recently. Compared to what it was earlier in the season.
But D'Amico gonna get him right.
I'd assume so too. Ooh, 5-star running back just committed to LSU over Alabama.
Just keep in mind.
Alabama already has like 17 5-star running backs on the team.
When they first played this game, It was the second game of the year. CJ
Yes.
was just getting into it. It's D'Amico's
Anthony
second.
Richardson was the starter.
D'Amico is his first home game ever. Okay. Like everybody started still getting used to everything. Arguably, to be fair, same thing goes for Shane Steichen. All right. Same thing goes for him.
True.
But
both had rookie quarterbacks.
Right. But the team around the Colts was built much better. And now, to be fair, the Colts have a Jonathan Taylor. The Texans don't have a running back. But
that is true. That is one aspect.
It is one aspect. I just think that going down the stretch, not having Tank Dell is a really big loss for this game. And obviously, they didn't really use him at the start of the season either. So it's kind of back to square one there. But I like the Texans offense more than I like the Colts offense. And
100%. They have the best quarterback in the game. So.
Did CJ play last week? CJ played last week, right? So that was his first game back from concussion, and now he's kind of fresh again. So he had that tune-up game where they won 26-3, and now they're coming into this week. CJ with a chance to pass for 4,000 yards in a rookie season. Defense is going to be a bit back, and for the fact they held Derrick Henry.
CJ's going to get that. He just needs 170. He'll get that.
For the fact that they held Derrick Henry and Tajay to basically no rushing yards, it kind of favors the fact that they're going to be able to bottle up Jonathan Taylor. I like the Texans in this. I know you also had them. But like I said before, this is CJ's Indianapolis moment. He didn't get the big stage. He didn't get the Big Ten championship. This is his Big Ten championship. This is his chance to actually take the W into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, and it's just very interesting. This is essentially being a playoff game, win and get in. So there's obviously a lot of additional pressure on this game for CJ. We're just gonna have to ride. We're just gonna have to ride. Simple as that. Just gonna have to ride with CJ here. I'm not sure if you could ask for a better rookie season, and not just out of CJ Stroud, but just first season with D'Amico Ryans and this new era of Texans football than what they just pulled off, regardless if they make the playoffs or not. The fact that they're above 500 right now, nobody thought that was going to happen.
I thought that they could be sneakily good.
But
I did.
Nobody was sitting here like, oh yeah.
I did say that they might be good.
The whole franchise.
I did say that. I'm taking my credit there. I'm going to get my flowers. I did say I thought that they could be good.
Yeah, yes. I would just say, though, I have been so impressed with how they played this season.
Oh, no, trust me. I've been very impressed. I did not think that they were making the playoffs. I had the chance of making it.
I really think that I would pick them to win their first playoff game if they get.
No, that is a vibe. That is a vibe pick, and I think they'd
be the 7 seed.
Yes, they would. They'd be playing against the Dolphins if the Dolphins win this week, or whoever wins.
Bills.
I like both of those.
They go to Buffalo.
I like both of those actually,
and I think Buffalo would play down to the Texans. And not that I'm saying that the Texans are like much inferior to the Bills, but I think the Bills would just look down and look past the Texans and be like, "Oh, we're winning."
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
That's also the thing with this Miami and Buffalo game is both of them tend to play up and play down, and like it's gonna bite one of them in the ass.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like Buffalo, they literally seem like they're kind of like a college team.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like they get on upset alert. Like
I do think if Josh Allen, I was using his legal name. If Josh Allen rushes for one more touchdown this season, he has the record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in one season. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Which is I'm not entirely sure about that.
More than Jalen Hurts this year?
I was going to say, because Jalen Hurts is pushed a lot this year. But I saw that somewhere. That needs to be fact-checked, actually. We need to fact-check that one.
Him and Hurts are tied in rushing touchdowns this year.
Both at 16?
15.
15.
Still,
so 16,
I had no idea that Josh Allen was at 15 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I think 16 is the record. But look, it's been...
Is held by Vic? Who has that?
Yes, by Vic. It's been an interesting season either way. Definitely one for the books, and we'll see how the Super Bowl and everything plays out. But if the Texans make it, my God, the AFC going forward, by the way, after this season too, is going to be crazy competitive.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, you guys have fun there. Okay, to wrap up the episode, I'm going to
they're currently tied for the most ever quarterback rushing touchdowns. They passed
both of them
for 15? A single season. 15
so
is the current record.
We know Jalen Hurts is getting one this week.
Yeah.
We know
he is playing.
One.
Yeah, they haven't clinched. They have to play. Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, we know he's getting one. So, yeah, okay.
We'll see Josh.
To wrap up the episode, we're going to do the best wide receivers of the 2023 season. Still technically a work in progress because the week is not over. But for right now, and I guarantee you I'm going to get comments on this on TikTok because people are just going to be like, fucking stupid. You don't watch the NFL. This is what we're doing for right now, okay? 10-1. Here we go. Justin Jefferson.
Wait, were you going to give another caveat there? I feel like you had another thing you wanted to explain there where you got into the list or.
No.
Okay. Oh, that was it. All right.
No.
Jump right in. I thought you were about to explain why people are going to say you don't watch the NFL, but.
Oh, just because the fact that they're going to be like, well, you didn't include this wide receiver. This wide receiver it's just the way that it always is. People's just opinions aren't like all the same. Anyways, they're going to be like, this is a fantasy football list. Okay. 10-1. Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, Brandon Ayuk, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyreek Hill.
I want to say right now, I know we're talking the season. I know. But if we're going on a per game basis, Justin Jefferson still
per game
at minimum number 2.
Per game.
At minimum number 2.
I would have him there per game, but it is total season availability is the best ability.
And I'm just looking at the stuff now, and God damn, Justin, he almost put up 1,000 this year still.
I mean, the chance it's still possible.
Yeah, I mean, 118 yards is not crazy for him. So
no. So, I mean, like I would have him higher, except for the fact that he missed like 8 games. Now, if you were to ask me the best wide receivers in the NFL, he's still number 1. But
bro, I'm just breaking down these numbers, Everett. Okay. He has 56 receptions this year. 44 of them were for first downs. That ratio, no one else is even fucking close.
Maybe prime Adam Thielen. But if you ask me who the best wide receiver in the NFL is overall, it's Justin Jefferson. But per the season and his availability, he cannot be number 1 or number 2. He'd probably be number 3. But availability is something that matters most. And I'm a Vikings fan. Like I'm trying to remove my bias here.
We still got CD2 though, which I think he has shown himself this season. Now, a lot of it could be on Dak too. Dak's with really fucking.
Dak's had a really good season.
CD, yeah, 2.
Yeah. Okay. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find it on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy. Make sure to follow me and Grant on Twitter.
Sorry. Last thing, Puka, only rookie wide receiver to make this list.
Yeah, I don't think that there would be another.
Well, I was saying we didn't throw like a fucking Tank Dell or Jordan on there.
No.
Okay, I was just making sure. Making sure.
You can find me
going back to the per game argument. Like, I wouldn't immediately click off the video if you said Tank Dell at 10.
All right,
I wouldn't have immediately clicked off.
All right, you might not. Looked at the comments, but I know 1,000.
I would have opened it up and started reading. But
you can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure to subscribe to us there and turn on notifications.
Sorry for cutting off again. Going back to the first down catch ratio, Tank Dell, 34 first downs on 47 catches. Those are elite conversion numbers right there. Elite conversion numbers. That's my new number. First down to catch ratio. That's my new number. That's what I look at now.
Am I good? Are you done? Am I going to finish the outro here?
Well, I mean, you got about 4 seconds now. You better start talking before I cut you off. So go.
You can post on TikTok. You can follow us on TikTok. We post new. So you messed up my flow, man. We post new TikToks every Tuesday to Sunday. Make sure to follow us there so you don't miss any
Oh
of our
my God.
content.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, before I go and just slap Grant, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.